Boom, baby. We are live. Welcome to Tokyo Crypto Show, Season 2, Episode 140, where we're going to be talking about Solana. This is the altcoin of the bull run. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the show. I'm here joined with our team today. We got Elias, the mining master. We got James, the TradFi genius. And we got Adam, the crypto degen. Alex is the chart guy. Alex is off for today because Alex has to handle some things. And then Steven, stock market Steven, is off as well. He has to go handle some things here in Tokyo. But we still are here. And we're going to be telling you everything you need to know about Solana potentially going to $1,000 and why Solana is the easiest cryptocurrency to make a lot of money with. There are millions and millions and millions of dollars being made with Solana. You can do this all from the convenience of your cell phone. There is just an endless amount of money and things going on in the Solana network right now. And we're going to cover all that and so much more here. What's up, guys? How's it going?
All good.
Everything all right?
Back on the ground. Good stuff. So we obviously, we've been researching and doing research-based analysis on price predictions and whatnot since December offline. And Solana, I would say, has done good for all of us here on the panel, yeah? I mean, even you, Elias, right?
Yep, you're using it for tooling.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about Solana and what exactly it is and, how you can seriously make some serious money with this altcoin, because it's just it was kind of laughed at the last bull run because the chain had gone down a couple times.
Yeah.
And that was huge, huge red flag. But now Solana, if you guys didn't know, Solana is the #1 used cryptocurrency in the world. It is the most transactions in the history of cryptocurrency, and it is by a long shot. If you take a look at here, this is coinmarketcap.com, where you can see the prices of the current cryptos in the world. And number 5 is Solana right here. This is the 5th largest cryptocurrency in the world. It recently was number 4, flipping BNB coin, but BNB recently took back the throne. So Solana has a very small market cap. The market cap is only $79 billion, and that's not that much in the grand scheme of things. And in the last 24 hours, looks like it's done about $3 billion in volume. As you can see, way more than BNB. And we just open up the chart here. We can take a look at some of the action as well. So this is what's happening right now. This is on the daily chart. Looks like it's bleeding out a little bit. This is the weekly chart. And then this is the monthly chart. And then the more you zoom out, the more profitable it looks. And this is the yearly chart. So if you were to invest in Solana, let's say approximately about a year ago, you bought it at, let's just do a year. Let's see. So today is the 31st for you guys in America. So let's go to July 31st. So July 31st, it was about $25, right? So if you had just invested there and sat down and wait, you'd have, as of right now, more than that's like about a 6x, yeah?
Almost a 9x.
Almost a 9x.
Depending on the starting point. At the bottom of the market on late 2022, like November, I think
$8 something.
Yeah, $8 was like the bottom.
Yeah.
So I got a story about that, right? I have a friend in Chicago named Albert, and he trades on the side. He owns a high-end audio business. Then about a year ago, when the things were still during crypto winter, that he remember I mentioned something about Solana during the last bull run. So he took $100,000 in his Robinhood account, bought Solana around $20 per coin. Then forgot about it. Well, as you know, because of the SEC, that Robinhood stopped, trading Solana on their platform because there was this whole thing with is it a security, is it a commodity, and there's a lawsuit, pending lawsuit via SEC, which again was, they receded as of this week, and so he bought it at 20, it went up to 40, and they liquidated him and say, hey, we're not letting people trade Solana anymore. So he made $100,000, but instead of taking that 200, moving it to his Coinbase account and rebuying Solana, he just sat on it. He said, forget about it. And earlier this year, when Solana had $210, he had a nervous breakdown because of it, and he hates Robinhood to this day.
Yeah, I mean, they have, are they, is stuff still frozen on Robinhood now? Like,
I don't think they allow Solana trading anymore, even though that lawsuit by SEC went away. They haven't reinstated Solana on their platform for trading. So this guy made 100K, which is nothing to laugh at, but he, lost out on close to $1 million because he was just too lazy to move the money from Robinhood to Coinbase and rebuy Solana.
yeah,
I was one of the Solana deniers last cycle.
Yeah.
Because of the outages. I'm gonna touch on that later, but that kept me from touching it last cycle, and I got in late this cycle because I was still worried about it.
I was openly talking shit about Solana on the previous channel because last 2021, I mean, Ethereum was altcoin of the year. There was no arguing about that.
Yeah.
There's no ands, ifs, or buts about that. And now here we are. And I just think that looking at because the reason I was making fun of it is because the Solana chain went down, it crashed. And did it crash this year? Because I knew it was congested, but did it crash this year?
It crashed for a couple of hours. It had an error in the code, but they fixed it fairly quick. It wasn't like other crashes.
It crashed. It was down for 12 hours.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Which is less than Microsoft this year.
Oh, really?
So this is just regarding everyone is going into the cloud from an IT perspective, and the cloud or the big clouds still have more downtime than Solana ever had. So it's interesting in finance because it has to be more reliable, but it's maturing really and getting more and more reliable over time.
Yeah.
I can imagine all the lawsuits that's going to hit because of the outage a while back.
Microsoft?
Yeah, well, the CrowdStrike, right?
CrowdStrike,
Yeah.
I think they're going to get sued out of this world. I mean, imagine all the money that airlines and travel company had to spend because all the people got stranded at the airport, right?
Oh my God! I wonder which DEI hire was behind that because.
Well, I think it was just a regular old developer just fucking it up. I looked at the tech side about it. So the way it works, without getting too deep into it, like the CPU, it's the brain of your computer. So all of the operating systems like Windows or Microsoft or Apple will have like a lot of layers of protection around it so that you cannot access it directly and access certain functions that you're not meant to touch. CrowdStrike is one of the few exceptions who have permission in the Windows kernel to have direct access to the CPU. So that way they can load their antivirus and systems before the computer even actually really starts. So yeah, they have a lot of permissions on every computer in the world, and they fucked it up. It was a null pointer. I don't know how to explain it for non-programmers, but basically someone tried to look some information in the computer that would have never existed. So the computer doesn't know how to find it, and it just crashes.
Remember the whole white 2K scare a while back, and this was the Y2K that didn't happen, right? It's
Hmm.
pretty funny.
Well, I just think it's better than it's better than a lot of garbage out there. I mean, one thing that cracks me up is how people still support XRP. Can you believe that? There's a fan base. Do you know if you had $10,000 in an XRP in 2018, today you would have $10,000.
My mother's side of the family is obsessed with XRP for some reason. Like
Wait, who is?
my mother's side of the family, like every person I've gotten into crypto, for some reason they want to invest in XRP. And at this point, I just gave out it on them. Like they all have invested, and they all have the exact same amount on that specific bag. And every other bag that I got them into is now in profit. But they still swear by it that it's gonna be the one that the banks use and all that bullshit. XRP is around since 2013, and ever since it came out, the founders have been consistently dumping millions of dollars on top of their user base. So it's not going anywhere.
Dude, it like, again, this just reminds me of the bell curve, and just how stupid people are. People still believe in Hex. People are still like, no, Richard Hart is our obese Jesus, and he's going to take us to the moon, and we're going to make all this money. And it's hilarious.
Hey! I own $1,000 worth of Pulse. Okay,
I'm sorry to hear that. Is it still $1,000? What is it worth now? Like 72 cents?
No, it's worth like 800, I think.
Can you actually use it? Like, can you get it out?
It's usable. It's usable, but nobody's using it, I think.
And if you cannot get it into like Ethereum at least to meet that money.
Mm-hmm. It cracks me up, man. No, because I mean, there's just so much dog shit out there, and it just cracks me up how many people just buy it up, man. It's just, it's crazy. It's totally crazy. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
When you mix no plan with hope and greed.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we're going to go into some data here. Elias, do you want to, because Alex is our chart guy. He's off. He's handling some private matters today. So Elias has some indicators for us in regards to what's going on with the price of Bitcoin. As you guys remember, what we do is we first track the price of Bitcoin to get an overall health analysis of the market. Bitcoin is a great health indicator of the market. And then from there, you should be building your thesis of trading based upon, the strength of Bitcoin and the overall strength of the market. So, Elias, I'm going to give it to you right now. Take it away.
Okay. Yeah, so basically this is the daily Bitcoin US dollar chart. And we've gone up here, had the Bitcoin halving. And if we zoom in, so the Bitcoin halving is right at this line in the middle. If we zoom in, we can see that we had a first top basically at around 72K in the end of May of this year, and then a second top, so it tried to go up again, and then we went down. So we were rejected basically at the 71 to 72K level. And what I personally wanted to see to be bullish in the short term, at least in the short term for Bitcoin, would have been that we reach those 72K again and basically stay above it. Since we didn't do that, and also if we switch the view to the quarterly candles, so this is each candle is a 3-month candle, we basically see the same yellow line I put in the window before, the 72K line. We see it here in yellow, and the whole quarterly candle was red, which is basically really bearish. And we also didn't close above it till now. So to be short-term bullish, I'd want to see that we reach the 72K level. And also another indicator that might be interesting is from Look into Bitcoin, the Pi Cycle Top indicator. And this indicator basically uses different moving averages or moving average lines to predict a Bitcoin top. So this starts in 2014, and the indicator works in a way that when the orange and the green line cross, this is a top indication, and the violet line or purple line at the bottom here indicates how close the green and the orange line are to each other. So basically, if you go to the top in 2014, we see the orange and the green line crossed, and after that, we dumped within a few months. Then we see the same in 2018 and in the 2021 top also at the first top, not at the second top of the double top. We already get the indicator or got the indicator from the bicycle top indicator. And right now we also saw that they got pretty close. And also that the purple line here went up pretty far, which could be an indicator that maybe the bull run is over or we could be pessimistic. But here's the point. If we go back to the quarterly candles again and switch them to monthly candles and zoom a bit out, we see that ending the bull run now wouldn't make any sense from a timing perspective. So this is just a overview chart segmenting the 4-year cycles of Bitcoins in segments between a Bitcoin halving, then a pump to the top, and then from the top to the bottom of the 4-year cycle.
I want to just make it clear for the guys. So when you guys see the green areas, that's bull market time. And each one of these bars indicates 1 month of time passing. So the green ones are obviously showing months of profits. And then the red one, that's bear market time. And that's obviously when the price is going down. And then the blue is the time from the lowest price, which indicates the end of the bear market, to the next halving. So and that's the accumulation period, which is the blue. So green, red, blue is bull market, bear market, accumulation time until next halving.
Yep. And if we go back till the start of this chart, which is in about 2012, we see the first halving, and then we see the green bull market phase, the bear market phase, and the blue consolidation and accumulation phase. And we see that the time frames they are in are pretty much similar to the next 4-year phase. And again, we have the bull market phase, the bear market phase, and the accumulation phase. And then it repeats the third time. So it's basically a clear rhythm of the 4-year cycle. And now, if we check where we currently are, we are currently here. So from a timing perspective, we are clearly at the beginning of the bull market cycle or of the bull market phase. And this is just, for me, an indication that we might go down now for the next month, maybe till October or November even. But we will have much better support, and this will be healthy for the Bitcoin price in the long term, basically, because investors that see that we confirmed price levels down here in the 60K range or 65K range again, and confirming means that we basically go to a level again and then go up from this price again. And once we get a few confirmations, investors are sure that the price level we confirmed that will hold. So this tends to also get institutional investors in more and will be good for the quarterly reports of institutions that invest in the millions or hundreds of millions. So based on this consolidation phase, we are going down, in my opinion, and anyone that is in risky coins or in meme coins or in Solana or something like that should probably think about taking profits or getting out and waiting for a nice dip to buy.
Looking good though. So, and we were talking about this offline. So you're saying this kind of is a good base setup in your opinion for a stronger price pump upwards down the road?
Yep. It's basically, for us, it's good because most of us want to accumulate more, I think. And this basically stretches everything out and also gives us more trust into the 4-year cycle model, in my opinion, if we go up long term. Because every time till now we had a short or a longer, at least 2 months of dumping within the green bull market phase, right after the halving. So in the first half year after each halving, we had about 1 or 2 months of dumping, which resulted in 1 or 2 red candles, so monthly candles. And this is exactly what we see happening here, which would confirm the 4-cycle theory and would more or less statistically lead to a top in November 2025.
Interesting. November 2025. James said the same thing, or not James, sorry, Alex said the same thing in his were you building off of that, or did you also come to that conclusion independently?
No, I think we did the same. We both extrapolated the timeframes from the last cycles and phases and got to more or less the same average number.
And who here thinks the top is going to be in sometime in 2025? Just show of hands. Okay, and let's just go around. So you think around November, Elias. Adam, when do you think?
October, November as well.
Really? I didn't know you were that.
Yeah.
Okay, and James, how about you?
Q4. Yep. October, November, December.
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. I didn't know it was that strong of a consensus.
Yeah, November for Bitcoin specifically. Altcoins may peak in December.
Yeah, they could bleed out until, even as late as January with all the mania.
Yeah, because the rotation goes typically Bitcoin, ETH, layer ones, others, right? So
Right.
if Bitcoin peaks in October, it's gonna bleed out every month to other assets until it comes crashing down.
Interesting. Super interesting. Okay, well that's good news to hear. So that being said, I want to ask you guys about a couple more things. So let's just talk, because we're gonna shift here to Solana, right? Talking about Solana. So obviously the use cases to Solana and what the future holds for it is pretty bullish, honestly speaking. That being said, typically we do the price predictions at the end of the show, but I want to do it right now just to kind of capture the audience's attention. Then we're going to break it down. So we're going to go to compare market cap real quick, and you can see some of all the new recently listed coins. You've got the Gay coin, you got the Flog, Brainlet, Hopium. Hopium and Hex go hand in hand. You got the Cat coin, bullish, and Genon, and you can see these are all, which is crazy. Look at this: Mog, Pepe, Shib. These are all Brett. These are all meme coins. It is, and then look, interesting. Look at the top here: Most Wanted, Popcat #1, Whiff #2, and Giga #3. So we'll be talking about a whole new other episode regarding to meme coins and what they are. But going to Solana real quick, we have some price predictions from the crowd, from you guys. So real quick, we have the current market cap is basically 80 billion. Current price $170. Let's bring everybody on the panel here, guys. I'll start with you, Adam. Price prediction and ETA to that for Solana. All-time high price prediction and by when?
700, and that may be a bit optimistic. Peak, I have two ideas. Either we get a lower number than that around potentially July next year, or absolutely most bullish estimate after Bitcoin peaks itself. So maybe December next year, if Bitcoin peaks on November. Essentially, whenever Bitcoin peaks, uh, around 2 weeks to a month after that, that's when I expect layer ones like Solana to find their peak.
Hmm.
So potentially December 2025.
Interesting. Okay, James.
I kind of am. I agree with the timing of it, but
Mm-hmm.
I think he's not being optimistic enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will hit $1,000 plus minus 200, so
So
800 to 1,200.
so basically half a trillion market cap, $500 billion market cap.
Yep, yep.
And then so you say give or take, so you say give or take 200, so like 800 to 1,000 is what you got.
800 to 1,200.
Oh, you're that high. Okay, 800 to 1,200. I felt like one of the prices right. Zibby $1.
$1.
Okay, awesome, good stuff. And then Elias, you want to just throw your hat in the ring?
Yeah, I'm going more with the 500 option because
500.
because we've seen Bitcoin outperforming ETH
Mm-hmm.
in the long run now. If
Mhm.
you look since the last top and the top before that, and I think maybe the same would happen with Solana when a lot of people that don't have a lot of money or don't have a lot of disposable income and have Solana backs because of the meme coin stuff. If they, in my opinion, if they see 2 times the current all-time high of 260, so around $500, they will start dumping because it just gets too much money for them.
I mean, yeah, the Jeets are out. That's for sure, man. These Jeets are out here, motherfucking in mass. As for me, you know, my price target is somewhere like around here, 430. I think we can get to 200 billion market cap. If we get to 500 billion, I'm gonna disappear and you guys never see me again. But yeah, I mean that would be legitimate to get up to there. And then, like I said, if this now just kind of connecting the dots of the past bull market, okay, I do to a degree believe that it is following the same path as Ethereum last bull market. And then so I'm just going to screen share here. So I went to coinmarketcap.com and I clicked on the market cap tab right here that says price to change it to green, and the market cap is blue, and you could see with the blue line how much is all the money that's in Ethereum. So Ethereum went down from, it was like right around here on same thing as Solana market cap, 72 billion. This was on December 23rd, 2020. And in a very short amount of time, it went from 70 billion all the way up to 443 billion, kind of similar to what James was saying. And then if we go up even higher, around the top, it was at $560 billion. And that's because everybody and their mother was using Ethereum during the bull run of 2021. So that being said, with Solana, actually, you know what? Let's just, sorry, I'm just going to pull up another chart right now real quick. I'm just going to share both of them for the convenience of you guys at home. So just take a look here, and let's just take a little quick deep dive on Solana. Okay, we're going to go to all and then market cap. And so, I mean, Solana already had a crazy run from this is when the news leaked that the Bitcoin ETF was going to be approved. And it went from basically 10 billion all the way up to 86 billion. So you had like an 8.5x right there alone in a short amount of time. Okay. And now we're just been kind of chopping sideways and it's regaining ground again. So could we have what we had last time with Ethereum? And I think the answer is potentially yes. I mean, the amount of money that was flying in. So there are a couple factors to consider. You know, the coin, we are way oversaturated with coins right now. That last, I mean, dude, the last 2021, like how many crypto was there? Like 1,500, 2,000? You know what I
When
mean?
it started, I think there were like 7,000 actually. Like when I got in around like August 2020, and by the end there were like maybe 12 to 15,000, so like double. But that's the amount of tokens being made daily on Solana,
Yeah.
like just on Solana.
Yes, exactly. And now there are 2.4 million cryptos out there. So we really dropped the ball thanks to Charlie and Miguel in 2021, those fat fucks. But it's all good. We could still make some money because it was just so much easier to make money back then. But now looking at how the market is just so spread out with, shit coins, Indian devs scamming people left and right. I mean, really, they're not only Indian devs scamming people, but like I said, the narrative this time has been meme coins, and it has been Solana meme coins. It has not been Ethereum meme coins. It has not been Bitcoin meme coins. Bitcoin and Solana are like fucking kind of grandfather, or excuse me, Bitcoin and Ethereum are kind of like grandpa tech right now, and they're kind of getting grandfathered in with these ETFs and getting some legitimacy to them. But the Solana chain, I feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like to a degree, it does seem like it's just getting started, right? Like they just had their fun in the sun for the first time.
I'm gonna add,
I,
if the Solana ETF does get approved, then my prediction goes to like 1,300 per Solana. If it does get approved like this year, then next year, then 100% we see a 4-digit Solana.
well, kind of going back to what you guys were saying, we got to look at the catalyst. What can drive the market up or the price up of Solana? I think one of the big catalysts is just a global liquidity cycle, right? From last week's episode, we talked about how the market cap, fall and rise of market cap kind of depends on the liquidity that's inside the market, right? And I think we're going to see a lot of liquidity coming in due to the refinancing of the debt that has to occur for all these governments. So the money printer goes brr after the election or around election time, as well as other catalysts I can think of is just like what you mentioned is the Solana ETF. I think logically that after the Bitcoin and the Ethereum spot ETF, Solana is probably next on the list for these guys. And the third thing, I think, one of the third catalyst is the tech that's being developed on Solana, especially the ZK, ZK zero knowledge for Solana, as well as the Blink embedding the Solana direct Solana link inside the Twitters and social media platforms, as well as the Fire Dancer that's coming online. So you're talking about three big tech that's coming onto Solana, not just for the meme side, but for the real world application like a DePIN, DeFi, whatever, right? The real world asset type of stuff. So I think there's a lot of tailwind for Solana going forward into 2025.
Yeah, I also think what's contributing a lot to the growth of Solana is how easy you can implement and use it as a developer.
Yep.
It's because you basically, if you are able to find the documentation page and you know how to use ChatGPT, you could build a simple decentralized app or dApp and put it on some hosting servers within, I don't know, 4 hours, and it would look decent and work. And that's something that I think will be a big driver, because each company that wants to put out a token or do something in that direction or get into DeFi will have to choose which platform to use. And if Solana is this easy, it's a no-brainer for them, because it's easy to use, it's cheap to implement, it's more or less stable now, and it's currently being hyped because of the meme coins. So I think many companies are also jumping in because of this and will push implementation of their products in other chains out in the future.
So one of the things that I talked to the tech guys here about was the big debate between Solana and Cardano. And like Elias says, Solana is much easier to develop and use than Cardano. And it kind of remind me of kind of going back to the whole when the Microsoft Office first came out, it was much inferior product than what was already on the market, which was remember the Lotus 123, the WordPerfect, and and we had all these products that were much better than Microsoft Office. But what Microsoft did that was brilliant was that make it easier to use between the product. So, Control C, Control V, right? That was copy and paste for all applications instead of you have to learn different command and different operating system on all these different products like a Lotus Notes, WordPerfect, whatever the PowerPoint thing. Once you learn the command and the operating system inside of Microsoft Word, that was 90% applicable to Microsoft Excel or the PowerPoint. So they made it much easier for a user to use and brought that learning curve down, which I think is what Solana is doing compared to something like Cardano.
Yeah, Cardano, I think it's actually migrating its blockchain to become a Polkadot parachain. So even they recognize that their tech was about shit.
Yeah, I mean, great tech, just hard to use, right?
And look, now that I've been saying this for the longest time, and now that they are actually verifying it on the blockchain, I've just been saying, dude, like Cardano just seems to be one big like money laundering operation.
100%.
There's no tech, there's no project. Like I remember that one time when Fresh was on the show with this one bitch that was on Fresh and Fit, and she was like talking about how great Cardano was. And I sent her a super chat. I was like, hey, ask her how many successful projects have been launched on Cardano. No. And the answer was 0. So I'm reading. The reason I was silent, I was reading something on the back end here. I want to show you guys. I have this. This is from the Financial Times. This is regarding the Solana ETF. So it seems to me that already Van Eck and 21 Shares have applied. James, I don't know if you read this.
Yep.
But are you up? Did you read this? Do you know about this?
No, I didn't read that particular article, but I read it on Twitter somewhere.
So here's a couple things.
Already have applied. Yep.
So they're talking about how Kamala and Joe Biden are just awful of fucking for crypto, which is true. I mean, like I said, when Kamala Harris was set to speak at Bitcoin conference, I was like, that bitch is going to get booed off the fucking stage if she sets foot into that building, first of all. Second of all, like she is actually meeting with her strategic advisors now to reset her image with crypto. She's just so hated in the crypto community because this administration has been very anti-crypto. They're finally bending the knee. And here's some interesting news, okay? It says, it's talking about Solana. It is also being used to tokenize real-world assets such as U.S. Treasuries. Last week, Hamilton Lane, an investment manager with more than $920 billion in assets, launched a private credit fund on the Solana blockchain. Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, which Big Gay Gary is the is the head of the SEC, and they have a decision to make on Solana ETF by March of next year. So at the start of July, Van Eck and 21 Shares had filed applications with the SEC. The rising confidence that this will pass stems from the SEC's unexpected approval of Ether ETF in May. The industry had taken the lack of engagement from the agency as a clear signal that the host of applications would be turned down en masse because either Ether could be used as to earn a return, functioning very much like a security. But the SEC sidestepped the problem, barring ETF issuers from earning a return. Once that was overcome and the regulator approved them, a switch was flipped. And that's why we have the Ethereum ETF that went live a couple weeks ago. Okay. Now, the change of heart doesn't make Solana an ETF a formality, though. For many years, the SEC knocked back spot Bitcoin ETFs on the ground that it had concerns about manipulation of the underlying market. So I don't understand what they're saying, though, because this right here, this Caitlin, she says, it cannot be approved by March unless there's an acceptable surveyable market for the SEC, and currently...
Yeah. So what typically happens is that for Bitcoin and Ethereum, there were already existing futures market,
Mhm.
not the spot, right? The futures.
Mhm.
So futures market existed, I think, between 12 to 18 months before SEC start looking to approve the spot ETF. So one of the things they were saying is that Solana does not have a futures market as of yet. So
Mhm.
even if futures market started today, it'll be at least year out before they start looking to approve it. I think that's what she's implying.
Hmm. Okay.
Observable market, right? Observable market. Yep.
So what would need to happen for it to be approved in your opinion then?
Again, that's not a requirement. It's something that SEC prefers, I think.
Mhm.
So if the change of administration and the change of attitude happens within the regulatory bodies, there's no block roadblock for them to not approve Solana, right? Because as you can see, these big companies, big funds are applying for the spot ETFs. It's just that SEC would prefer to have a observable track record from an observable market for at least 12 months.
And so when do you think when could that period start?
Whenever Solana futures comes on, which I haven't heard anything about it, um, only thing would be that again, it's not a requirement. It's something they prefer, right?
Mhm.
So they can approve it anytime. It's up to them. I think it's more of as we saw earlier this year. I think that, like you said about the Democratic Party kind of pivoting their attitude towards crypto. I think it happened with around the approval of Bitcoin spot ETF, and
Mhm.
as you saw that the ETH spot ETF was much easier to get approved. I think they kind of saw the writing on the wall that what's the number of crypto holders in US? Between 50 and 60 million people hold crypto in
Mhm.
US, right? So they kind of saw that it is a huge voting block. But I think it's my opinion that they reacted and pivoted too slow. So now they're playing catch up to the Republican Party.
Hmm.
If Trump
Can you,
can,
uh,
he,
John, can you click on the link I shared in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a great article that James just sent to me. And you can see this is the what is Solana. Actually, we'll put this in the chat for you guys because if you guys really want to read up and do some research on Solana, I'm telling you, if you take your time and you learn about this coin, there like you can make money. It's really not an impossible thing to do. What did you want to see, James?
Go down. There's a little chart there that shows different There it is, right? So we were talking about one of the big driver we think that's going to drive the Solana up, or the catalyst would be the real world asset application or real world application. As you can see here, these are typical transactions per second for different payment systems. As you can see on the lower end, Bitcoin, as we all know, Bitcoin is kind of slow with the processing and transaction speed, about 7 transactions per second. And there's ETH about 25. Then PayPal is about 200 transactions per second they process.
It's
Then
crazy.
up MasterCard, 5,000, and Visa, 24,000. And Solana, theoretical limit as of now is 65,000. Um, and I've heard somewhere for the Nasdaq, it has to be around 250 or 500,000 transactions per second to run a stock exchange in the real world, right? So is Solana there yet? No, not yet, but I think it'll get there once a few more upgrades.
So it needs to get to
go live.
quarter million per second. You said?
Yeah.
You know, it's
to
crazy.
500,000.
I just shared this link right here, and Facebook blocked it. They said your link was blocked because it goes against our community standards. That's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's wild.
I was gonna mention about the 65,000 being the theoretical limit. If you didn't mention it, James, actually, right now, like the quote unquote realistic limit is still 50,000, so still pretty high.
Yeah,
But yeah,
still high. But I think the fire dancer would blow that right out of the water. So I
yeah,
think that's going to be the game changer.
Solana did something unlike Ethereum that is really advantageous to it, and it's that it's built on Rust. And Rust For those who don't know, it's a programming language that is off the hype now for like embedded systems and like low level stuff because it has the efficiency and like low level control of something like C++, but it's way easier to get a grasp of, and you can like really do it's way safer to use. C++ is by far one of the best languages for getting it to the low level, but it's really complicated and it's really easy to blow your foot off by making a mistake. Rust has that same level of efficiency, but it has some checks in place so that you don't screw yourself over, and that's why it's getting so much traction in the dev world. Solana is built on it, and the applications that it uses, if I were to develop an app on top of it, I would write it in Rust. And that allows it to run way faster than something like Ethereum, which demands that I use its own language that is Solidity. And I say this as a Solidity dev myself. I have no idea how to code in Rust, but I have to recognize that it's way better. It allows for something called concurrency. So essentially, I can process multiple stuff at the same time. It's also sometimes called multi-threading. Solidity doesn't allow for that. The Ethereum virtual machine, every transaction has to be sequentially processed. So it's not that it is not scaling now. It cannot scale past a certain point because it will always have to follow the order of the transactions. While Solana, the more computing power you get, theoretically you can multi-thread stuff even more and process more stuff at the same time.
That's why ETH is having to bring on their layer twos to kind of band-aid for this limitation, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's also with Rust. Rust takes for the if you want to calculate the same function in some DeFi application, Rust takes considerably less computing resources, which will translate to lower costs for those that
faster
run
transaction speed.
Yeah, it's faster and it has a lower cost for those that provide the hardware of the full nodes that confirm the transactions.
So that's a good segue into the presentation. Do you want to go to the slides, John?
Yeah, so this is what James presented. And you guys remember, for you guys that don't know, James B here is a veteran of 20 plus years in the traditional finance space. He has managed millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars for multiple people, multiple companies. He's not just some guy I found on the street. This guy is a legitimate professional, and that's why we wanted to bring him on board for the Tokyo Crypto Show Season 2. As you could tell, the compared to the previous Tokyo Crypto Show, this is actually soundly grounded in math and people with actual skills in the marketplace. And later on this episode, Adam is actually going to show you how easy it is to make a Solana meme coin. We're going to do a live demonstration here on the live stream. So James, the slide is up there. Go ahead, take it away.
Okay. I guess one of the things they tried to push for the Solana is this was a blockchain for the people, right? So why is it called the blockchain for the people? It is one of the cheapest and the fastest blockchain. As you can see from the first graph here, is that it is one of the cheapest. It takes literally fractions of penny per transaction on Solana, compared to something like Ethereum, which could cost upwards of hundreds or thousands of dollars sometimes, depending on the congestion. As you can see, it is the fastest transactions per chain as of now. I know Sui is getting up there. They're advertising a little bit higher, but as of now, theoretical maximum TPS is 65,000. Because of that, because it's fast and cheap, as you can see from the first chart here, the number of active addresses have exploded since 2023, which is the Solana is the purple line. We have the BTC, which is top dog, Ethereum right underneath it. Number two, then you see Solana just exploding, and a lot of it that has to do with the meme coin. As you can see from the right chart or the table, as you can see, Solana has one of the highest transactions daily as of now because of that. Next slide. Okay. Here is Solana's the monthly active addresses. As you can see, we hit the peak here in summer of 22. Then it kind of followed the trend of total crypto market, kind of went into the winter time there, and now it just picked up and passed the previous all-time high. And here, next slide. The other thing that, because it's fast and cheap, it gets used for is decentralized exchanges. For crypto, there are two types of exchanges. You have a centralized exchange, which is your typical Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, where you kind of have to send in your money or, take your money and give it to a custodian or the centralized processor, which in case would be Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, yada, 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 right? And they would allow you to trade on their platform. But you got the second type, which is the decentralized exchange, is that it's a more of a peer-to-peer. You just create a wallet, then you have your crypto inside the wallet, you connect your wallet to decentralized exchange, then you can trade peer-to-peer. And as you can see, Solana, again, last run, like we were saying, Ethereum was top dog for the decentralized exchange volume. As you can see from the dark blue part here, then Solana picked up for this run. As you can see, it's now equal to, if not surpass Ethereum on the daily transaction volume for the decentralized exchanges. One of the big thing that we're looking forward is the Fire Dancer, which is, again, based on my limited knowledge of being a finance guy, it is a separate validator client that's built by a Jump Crypto. Jump Crypto is a high frequency trading guys. They're a combination of a big finance and the IT guys. So what this will allow to do is it raises transactions per second to 1 million plus transactions per second while bringing down the hardware requirement. And as we were saying, that the Solana is very scalable, which means that if it gets faster and cheaper to validate as per hardware requirement, that this scalability of this thing is pretty much limitless. And because of that, Masori, one of the crypto research firm, called this the deep blue ocean thesis, that right now Solana is in the Venn diagram, or the red mark, or the red area here, red circle. But because it allows for faster transaction or higher transaction, faster, cheaper, and lower hardware requirement, it expands its use to beyond what's currently being used. As you can see, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And kind of going back to what we were saying earlier about the cryptocurrency, this graph compares internet adoption per user by users compared to, which is a solid line, compared to cryptocurrency or the blockchain technology adoption, which is the dotted line. As we can see, guys, we're early. We're barely, 1/3 way up, and on the way up, and it's kind of totally mirroring this adoption curve we saw for the internet. And I think one thing that we are kind of seeing now if you kind of, if I'm kind of old, but going back to the beginning of the internet in 1990s, in the beginning, everything was just called the internet. There was no social media, there was no retail, there was no cloud, right? So everything was called the internet. Then, as the technology matured, we saw segmentation of it because we got the social media as a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Then we got the search engine, Google's, Yahoo's. Then we got the cloud, AWS, Azure, Microsoft's Azure, and so on and so forth, right? So I think what we're seeing for this bull run is kind of beginning of that, right? We're kind of seeing, hey, Aptos, Sui, different use versus Ethereum, different use, BTC, different use, and Solana. I think it's more taking on the mobile application and consumer-based chain role. I think that's it.
That's good, man. And it just shows you how much depth there is to this game and how much market is just left untapped. Like, there's so much money being made in crypto, and yet there's relatively not that many people involved. I think people just think like, we don't even have 1 billion users in crypto yet, do we?
No, nope, not yet.
Unbelievable.
They said billion user. They're hoping between 500 million and 1 billion user by end of 2025, which I think it's still being a little bit optimistic, maybe. But
Yep.
Aren't
yeah,
we like
it's
100 million barely?
Say what? Where? Yeah.
really early.
I think. Let me see. How many active? I'll find out right now. How many active crypto users? Should I do wallets or users? Probably users are there, right? Users. It's hard to kind of gauge that, right?
Yeah.
Latest data shows there are 560 million cryptocurrency users globally. So that's nothing.
Yeah, and consider that probably our data, there's bound to be some repeats because
Sure.
there's no way to verify that a wallet in Solana and a wallet in Ethereum belong to the same person.
Yep.
And they could very well be. I myself own like 20 wallets. So, so yeah, like there's not 20. I mean, I only have one, and it's the one registered with my government.
That's right. That's the right answer. And you pay all the taxes on it.
Of course.
Okay, so Elias, you wanted to say something. You wanted to touch on something real quick. Elias is frozen. He said he's having trouble with his internet. He's not moving, right? Yeah, he's frozen. All right. So, yeah, go ahead. So what we'll do, okay, we're gonna skip Elias. He's having internet problems. So go ahead.
Okay, so
Adam, take the floor.
I'll touch on a couple of things. First, I want to touch on a bit on my chart.
Okay.
Oh, that's back. Yeah, I'll quickly go over it. Something that I noticed like last week. Okay, can you guys see my screen now?
Yep, that's Ethereum, USD, and what is that, a daily? Oh, there's
I'm going to change it to Bitcoin. Okay. So if you remember last week, I told when I showed my Bitcoin cycles chart, as long as we kept above around this line, we would consider this 60-day cycle to be a bullish one and potentially see higher prices around late August, early September. So as you can see, today we will be crossing below it. And unless we see a reversal on the next couple of days, I'm expecting the same scenario that Elias showed with his chart. Same thing with Ethereum. Like I mentioned in my prediction with the ETF launching, I expected us to start going above these Fibonacci levels. And as you can see from last week until today, we tried to break above it, but we instantly came back down. And we're now closer to the lower level than to the upper one. So yeah, everything seems to indicate that this following couple of days might be bearish rather than bullish. Long term is better. because it means that we have some more time to consolidate, and maybe right after the election we get or like official bull market start, especially if Trump wins. Just to update you guys on what my charts.
Mm. And I think to a degree, the Ethereum is also bleeding out because Grayscale is dumping. Yeah.
I don't know, because unlike Bitcoin, I think Grayscale had their approval for transforming their trust into an ETF for
Mhm.
Ethereum.
Mhm.
So if they're selling, I wouldn't know why. Because in the case of Bitcoin, they didn't get their approval in time. So what they were doing is that they were selling the BTC in their they call it like GBTC
Mhm.
that they had in their trust. So they were selling it, and then the ETFs suppliers were buying it from them. So like BlackRock and VanEck were buying it. But in this case, Grayscale already has its own Ethereum ETF. They just transformed the entire balance from the trust into the ETF. So if they're selling, it's not for the same reason as what why they sold Bitcoin.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, it did seem to follow the same path in regards to the previous launch of the Bitcoin ETF. A little bit of a dip within the first couple of weeks, and then people were like, "Oh, look at this! They're laughing. It's a scam. It's garbage. Yada yada." And then we all know what happened after that. So I'm hoping that Ethereum should follow the same path. James, from a TradFi perspective and just, seeing what's going on with the Ethereum ETF, have you seen anything that potentially jumps out as negative or anything along those lines, or what do you think?
No, I mean this kind of just happens with a lot of these exchange traded products, right? When they launch, there'll be a lot of changing of hands, what we call, So people that have probably held the Grayscale or whoever these type of trust would get out, then switch into ETFs. So there's a lot of changing of hands, and so you will not see like some big price increase until all the changing of hands gets settled. Then all that gets flushed out. So it would just if you're holding Ethereum, just be patient. I think it's just that it needs time to flush out all the different players before it start. The ETF inflow actually start taking impact. We saw this with the Bitcoin too, right? I mean, the Grayscale jumped on. Then what? German government jumped in. Now the U.S. DOJ is jumping in with their position. So there's always somebody that's looking to liquidate for whatever reason.
Yeah, the German government sold probably the worst time possible. That's pretty funny. We'll see what happens now. Elias, you wanted to say something real quick before Adam does his coin building demonstration, coin making?
Yeah, I basically wanted to add a bit on top after Adam, right on his topic. So because he wanted to do the live token creation, which might be really interesting for people.
So did you want him to build the token first?
Yeah. I'll add after it.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So Adam, the floor is yours.
Sure.
We're gonna show you guys live now how to make a meme or not. Are you gonna make a meme coin, or are you gonna make?
So before making the Bitcoin, I have a 2-slide presentation.
Let's do it.
On some topics I wanted to touch on Solana.
Yeah, let's
do it.
And then
I can go onto.
If you don't like it, they can go watch some fucking mindless dribble and not make money. I'm here to make cash. Okay.
Sure.
Here we go.
Okay, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
So brief comparison on Solana and Ethereum. So innovation is driven by necessity. We started off with fiat currencies. They were insufficient, to say the least. After the 2008 crisis, Bitcoin was born in an effort to have some sound currency, but Bitcoin itself had its limitations. Although it is really secure, it is also really slow, and it doesn't have much more capability than just recording transactions. So then Ethereum was born, meant to be like the world's computer. It can handle applications and process logic on top of, registering transactions, right? But Ethereum also reached its limit because it cannot scale well. It wasn't designed with that much foresight, I guess. So whenever it gets congested, the chain cannot take it, so the transaction fees skyrocket, and that's where alternatives like Solana were born, which have the same capability as Ethereum of handling smart contracts, but they do it at a much faster and much cheaper price. So some stats to keep in mind: a block time in Bitcoin is 10 minutes. Ethereum takes 10 seconds, and Solana takes half a second. It's 400 milliseconds to be precise, but half a second should be easy to understand. As for transactions per second, Bitcoin hovers around 7, Ethereum around 12 to 15, and the theoretical limit at the moment for Solana is 65,000, with a million plus coming after the Fire Dancer update.
A million plus a second?
Yeah, that's what I saw in.
When is Fire Dancer supposed to come out? When is that update coming out?
They said end of the year, but I think Solana have their events in September typically every year, right, guys? So that we might, I'm hoping we'll see an update. There was a live demonstration earlier this year, and they showed how they could get to 1 million transactions per second. So the tech was demonstrated. I don't know the thing behind it, right? But they showed that live at one of their Solana events, and I think hoping to be by end of the year they will launch it. And again, Solana is still quote unquote considered to be in beta, right?
Mm.
So whatever that means to you guys, but again, it's still not really come out of its beta stage yet. Kind of going back to what we were saying here, it went from Bitcoin to Ethereum. Then during last crypto bull run, what I saw was that people were beginning to see the limitations of Ethereum. So they were looking for alternative layer one. And what I saw was a Polkadot, Cosmos, Cardano, and Solana as four main horses in the race, right?
Well,
and as you
not
can see,
Cardano, because that's bullshit. So
I mean that's what I saw come online as advertised as the alternative to Ethereum, right? Then now after the crypto winter, where they should have been building and getting the onboarding developers, what we saw is that Polkadot and Cardano kind of fell to the wayside, and now it's Solana and Cosmos, but they're kind of doing very different things here, right? Cosmos is becoming more of a layer zero for other coins that's riding on top of Cosmos, where Solana is just trying to become this monolithic, consumer chain, especially for mobile, with the introduction of their mobile phone, right? So, and they're launching the second, iteration of their mobile phone. So it's very interesting to see how blockchains are beginning to kind of, segregate itself into its own specialty.
Yeah, and if it were only for the tech side, I would differ from James. Like tech specifically, Polkadot did continue to build, but they never knew how to market it, so nobody cares.
Oh yeah. Marketing is huge. And I think that's big thing with the Solana is Anatoly, one of the founders, came from Qualcomm and the mobile space, right? So I think they want to be mobile and user friendly first more than anything, and that was huge.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to find a date. So some things are saying it's coming out. Roadmap says it's coming first half or summer of 2024 for the mainnet launch. But I don't see an actual date.
And one of the things I read is that the hardware requirement for Fire Dancer Validator client is much lower than what's currently required for current Solana validator, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, it is much cheap. It's going to make it much cheaper and faster. And the hardware requirement, therefore the the front end investment, if you want to get into the validator business, is going to be much cheaper. I mean, it's going to be crazy if it works. Again.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the. Sorry, I just want to say something for the audience. I'm looking at some of the data you guys were mentioning. So yeah, they said with the Fire Dancer update, they're targeting from the current theoretical 65,000 transactions per second to 600,000 to 1,000,000 transactions per second for the Fire Dancer update, with an average transaction price of like 0.00006. I can't even cent. I don't even know how to say that. It's not even one.
It's thousands of penny, right? Thousands of penny. So if you're thinking about it, if you're running something like, let's say Amazon or Walmart, and when you're paying, 1 to 2% or whatever for the, transaction or processing fee for the credit card company or the banks, I mean, it's a no-brainer to develop your own processing tech on something like Solana, right? The amount of money you can save is crazy.
Yeah, so keeping on this, Bitcoin, its main function right now is only tracking balances. There is some development on top of it with some ordinals and some BRC20 standards, but whenever one of those gets launched, the entire network collapses. So yeah, Bitcoin wasn't really built to have applications on top of it. Like, unless they do a serious upgrade on the chain, it's gonna stay just for a ledger.
Fuck Ethereum.
Fuck Ethereum. We gotta give it credit. It did introduce the idea of smart contracts with Solidity.
Yes.
But it showed its limitations whenever it tried to scale. Solana also has smart contracts, but they are built with Rust. And thanks to this, it is way more scalable. It is way easier to onboard developers, and it is way more user-friendly. And we'll go into that later. The strengths. So Bitcoin is the most secure and reliable asset. You can't go wrong with it if you want to just protect your money. It's probably the only crypto asset that you can be 100% sure that will never go down, and your money will always be safe, quote unquote. Ethereum, although it sucks, it has the network effect. It was the first smart contract chain, so we will probably stick around forever, even though it's not useful.
Yeah.
Solana is everything Ethereum has, but better, faster, and cheaper. One of the main points in which Solana beats Ethereum is the user experience, and it all starts with the wallets.
Yes.
The main wallet for Ethereum is called MetaMask.
It's dog shit.
Complete dog shit.
Dog shit.
Taking a look at these screenshots. The main interface in MetaMask allows you to see your tokens, send, swap them, and look at NFTs and other stuff. But it is really manually dependent. So if I want to see a new token, I have to import it manually. So I have to look at the contract address on the blockchain and then paste it and pray to God that it's the right one, else my balance will show. I can also mess it up with the token decimals and all that. Same with NFTs. Ethereum has two NFT standards, ERC 721s and ERC 1155. The main wallet, MetaMask, does not support ERC 1155s. So you can only manually import some of your NFTs. So yeah, sucks. And also the activity tab. I don't know if anyone else has this happen to them. I have never seen my entire transaction history in MetaMask. It is always missing some transactions. So I have to go into a block explorer to look at what is missing if I want to keep track of what happened with my money. On the other hand, we have Phantom, the Solana wallet. Just starting off, you can see there are more screenshots. It's because there is more stuff to do here. Phantom is a multi-chain wallet. So you can hold your Solana assets as well as Ethereum assets and recently even Bitcoin. You can see in this screenshot over to the left, Phantom automatically adds assets it detects in your wallet, so you don't have to paste any token address. If someone sends you a new token to your wallet, it will automatically show it here, and it will even add the price if it's publicly available. Same thing happens with NFTs. I have no idea where those NFTs came from. They just appear in my wallet, but I know that every NFT that arrives in my wallet will be available here. Also, Phantom has a swapping tab for tokens. It uses whatever DEX it finds cheaper fees on. The activity tab is a real history to your wallet. You can see every single transaction from and to your wallet. And one of the most important ones in terms of user experience, it has a discovery tab. This discovery tab has recommendations for popular exchanges, popular NFT markets, token suggestions, even quests that you can do to qualify for airdrops. And it already has the official links. In the Ethereum ecosystem, you have to know which website to get on, and you always run the risk of clicking the wrong link and getting scammed. This is fully vetted, and you know that every link you click on in here is safe and probably recommended to use.
Adam, let me ask you something. What the fuck is wrong with these MetaMask developers? Why is MetaMask still suck in 2024?
I couldn't tell. I think they just gave up because some Ethereum native alternatives have come, like Ruby Wallet or even Coinbase Wallet. Like any other wallet that supports Ethereum is a better alternative than MetaMask.
I got a couple of questions about the difference. Staking. I know you can stake on Phantom, right?
Yeah.
MetaMask. I mean, can you stake directly from MetaMask, or do you have to go do something else?
Yeah, as of recent you can, but the interface sucks. On
Okay.
Phantom, I didn't take a screenshot, but it's like you will click on Solana and it will
Yep.
have a button like here in the swap tab, you will input the amount that you want to stake and you just click stake. And
Yep.
whenever you want to unstake, you will have like an unstake button down here and you
Yep.
click on stake. Like
Well,
Solana has gone above and beyond in simplifying the crypto experience for the average user so
yeah,
that they can attract the masses.
yeah, this is that's what we talked about. Microsoft Office Control C, Control V moment, right? I mean, it's so easy. Then how about airdrops? I know on the Phantom, airdrop shows up automatically. On the
Yeah.
MetaMask, do you have to add it manually to see your
Yeah.
airdrop token?
Yeah,
Oh,
so if let's say I qualify for an airdrop for X project, they will
Mhm.
release their token and my wallet already has the balance, but I'm not able to see it in the wallet itself unless I look for the contract and I add it to MetaMask.
Because it's
Phantom will
manually done. Yeah.
Phantom will automatically add it, and it will
Right.
also automatically add the token logo. Another huge point that Solana has over Ethereum, Solana is capable of way more storage than Ethereum. So anything image related on Ethereum is delegated to an external source. So token logos are usually stored on websites or on GitHub.
You exited full screen mode, just so you know. We could see the
Yeah.
present.
Yeah, no problem. Like the token logos for like for example Sukuna token,
No,
this image on
Make
Ethereum.
it- can you make it bigger because we could see?
Okay.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
we could see clearly.
Okay, so like this token, Sukuna token, this image right here, if it was on Ethereum, the image would need to be hosted on a separate website or on GitHub,
Oh
and
wow.
it
Oh,
would be
okay.
pulled using that link. Solana
Okay.
stores it on chain. Same thing with NFTs. Ethereum introduced basically the need to use a decentralized storage solution like IPFS. So whenever a smart contract is written for NFTs, each NFT has a link to the IPFS file which shows the image. But
Oh
the
wow.
actual
Okay.
image is not stored chain because Ethereum cannot handle all that data. Solana stores the entire image on the chain.
Nice, nice.
So
The other thing I was going to mention is that about the user experience. Remember going back last year when Solana launched their phone, Saga, I think it's called, and it was like $500, $600, and people were laughing at why would you buy Solana phone when you have a Apple or Android? But then with all the airdrops that happened because of
yeah,
the meme coins and whatnot, the people more than made up for the cost of the phone. So the phone, let's say, was around $500. I think people that bought the phone made just from the airdrops alone somewhere between $2,000 to $2,500. That is crazy.
yeah, and that is driving speculation way high for the next Solana phone because everyone is
Yeah.
now expecting airdrops and the new one.
and because of it's built on it, built hardware basis, the Phantom wallet is already native to the phone, right, Elias?
Yep.
So I mean, it's crazy how they're kind of pivoting towards this whole. They want to be the blockchain for the consumers. It's pretty
Yeah.
fantastic.
Also, something I wanted to show you is that before we started the show, I made two transactions, one on Solana and one on Ethereum.
Mhm.
In Solana, I paid 25% of a cent to send some money, and
Yeah.
the transaction was like literally instantaneous.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't change wallets and it was already there. For Ethereum, I moved some money and it cost me 37 cents. It's
Oh
not
wow.
that much on its own, but comparatively, we're talking about almost 1,000 times more expensive than Solana. And this
Yeah. That.
took,
And if that was a larger amount of money, audience, just so you could chat so you guys know, for you guys watching at home, okay? If that was a larger amount of money, he would have to pay a larger fee. Like
yeah,
the more money you send, the more fee you have to pay. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
And this one took 2 seconds. Yeah,
So
2 seconds
this
is a little.
on Ethereum native Ethereum chain, or was it the layer 2 of Ethereum?
No, mainnet.
Mainnet. Okay.
Yeah. So right now Ethereum is not being used like to up to congestion, so it was fairly fast, but still 2 seconds compared to half a second, it's still 4 times the amount.
I mean, the fees are just
Yeah,
exponentially more expensive.
the fee is 1,000 times,
Yeah.
probably 2,000 because this was the other one was 0.2. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right. To the final point. I'm gonna paste this in the chat if in case anyone wants to take a look at it. Solana has, as part of the user integration process, I would call it, they have made it really easy. They have made it really easy for users to create tokens. So Ethereum now has this kind of websites that allow you to create tokens easily. But like back in the day, you basically had to learn some level of solidity to create a token because you had to actually code it. Yeah, you could copy paste code, but you have to get into a code editor, create the token, change the data for the name and the description, and then publish it. In Solana, it's just I just access the website, I give it a name, a symbol. The decimal tab you can usually leave it on its own, and I will did supply. So I'll make it 1,000 tokens of my cat. Solana even allows you to like embed into the token metadata. You can already add links to Discord, Telegram, and other socials that you already might have created for it. And there's 3 functions that come built in with a token that you usually want to revoke if you want to make your token look trustable. So there's the update function, which allows you to change like the name of the token and the image. There's the freeze authority that allows you to freeze people's wallets and not allow them to move this token around. And there's the mint authority, which allows you to create more of the token supply. every major meme coin will usually have all these three off.
Yeah.
So that the coin will always remain the same and people can freely move it. In fact, over here in the option to create a liquidity pool, it will also have the tokens, the buttons to remove the authority if you didn't do it at token creation. So the total fee to create the token is 0.1 Solana. This might seem high. Around now it's almost $20, but this fee doesn't go for the network. This is just the website charging me for making it easy for me. The actual network fee we'll see is in the cents. You can see my wallet, right?
Yeah, we can see your password.
My
$33.
password? Okay. This is weird. I have more than what it's asking. Let me try and refresh. Let's see now. Weird. I tried it a bit ago. It's not working for some reason. Let me look for another site because most of them are basically the same.
Well, take your time. I think Elias wanted to add something onto that in the meantime, so I'll just pull your share screen down.
Sure.
Elias, welcome back. You wanted to build onto that, brother? You're muted, sir. You gotta unmute yourself, Elias, on the screen. There you go. I did for you. You're good.
Okay, thank you. I can also do it now. I have a screen share ready. I would just add some information that will be interesting
Cool.
for what Adam does. So basically, this is probably one decentralized exchange you're going to use if you dabble in Solana, or you're going to use in the background without knowing it, called Radium. I just wanted to show you something in case some of the viewers decide to play around with meme coins and stuff like that. If we take two really big, and to add to it, it's a decentralized exchange basically. So you connect with your Phantom wallet, as I did here, or with any other Solana wallet, and then you can basically use it directly in your web interface, and also from the app from your phone. So here I picked USDT, which has a gigantic market cap, and Solana itself, which also has a really big market cap. And what I wanted to show is if you try to swap 1000 USDT or to exchange 1000 USDT for Solana, it will show you a price impact down here, which basically says to you, hey, we can move it up a bit to explain it better, but here it's near 1% if we try to swap 100,000 USDT to Solana. So this says basically that if you do the swap based on the liquidity,
Did he freeze out? I think he froze out. Elias?
that is available on the set.
Hey, you
Yep.
kind of froze
Oh, I'm
there
sorry,
for a second, buddy.
I'm just going to pick up where I was
Here we
real
go.
quick. Okay. So basically,
That's pretty funny.
he said he's in Germany right now, right?
if you select a smaller coin like Popcat, for example,
Mhm.
and we try to swap 100k to Popcat, you'll see that we have a price impact of 7.8% now. So that means we would basically maybe lose 7 to 8%.
Yeah.
And you can always
Oof. Yeah.
called a slippage in traditional finance term.
Yeah, Elias, we got to pull it. It's your internet's too bad, buddy. All right, Adam, how are we looking on the token creation?
All good. Ready to show it.
Right.
1 sec. Yeah, I'm sharing, Ryan.
Nice Smash Bros. Wallpaper.
You like it? All right. So let me step back here so you can see it. Okay, so this is another website that I have used. I'll paste the link later. So basically select the network, input your token data, then name the symbol, the total amount, click on next. You usually want to keep these ones off because this will alert people if you want your meme coin to be trustable. Over here, you can upload any image you want, add the description, and you should click on making the metadata unmutable so you cannot change it later. After that, you can just click on validate. These people will usually ask you to add your country. You can add whatever you want, and then you can click on deploy. This will trigger the transaction in your wallet. Okay. So it will usually warn you in case you don't know what you're doing, but we choose to proceed. As you can see, the network fee, the actual network fee for creating the token is, I don't even know how to pronounce this. It's basically free. If you were to click on advanced, then Phantom, unlike MetaMask, will actually show you the steps being taken for your transaction so that you know what is actually being charged to your account and why it's being charged. So after you confirm everything, you can click on confirm and the token will start being made. Fun fact, I didn't have enough in my wallet. I just sent some more to it and it just appeared instantly. So just as a testament of how fast Solana is. Now, if I look at my wallet, you can see that it automatically detected that I have the token, and now I have 1 million Fiora tokens with the supply and the logo intact. So now I can just create a liquidity pool for it and market it, or just send it among my friends, whatever they want to do.
Then pull the rug.
Exactly. But yeah,
that's crazy how easy that is to make that like that. It's amazing how easy that was.
Yeah, and once again, I just paid $20 because the site charges me $20, but the actual network, it was basically free. Yeah, way less than a penny, like a millionth of a penny.
Oh, wow. No wonder we have like billion meme coins being created on Solana every day. Jesus.
And yeah, like you just saw the process. All you need to have previously is the image, and even that you can make the token mutable and add it later. You can make 1,000 tokens in like a minute.
Sorry, I'm eating some ice. Yeah, man. The thing is this too, right? I always use this example, right? And I've been going to say this. I've been saying it forever. You know, it's like when the internet first came out, right? So at first, like only like the super nerds, right? They were, the ones that were using the internet, and you had to like sit there. You had to put the disk in, AOL, dial-up connection, and then finally, right, when you get all this thing sorted out, then you're finally on the internet. But now, like, it's so easy that like literally children use the internet. It's just like a child, literally a child can use the internet. They can get on a Google, they can get on, you know, Instagram, they can search on YouTube, right? And so that being said, when crypto will get to that point, right? You know, I mean, think about how easy these girls are just making so much money off of OnlyFans, and you know, they are just effortlessly using the internet to make money. And once crypto gets to that level, we're going to see some pretty wild things, quite frankly.
I
It's going to be
personally, I think the way it's going, like BlackRock said they want to digitize and tokenize every asset on the planet. That means that, hey, let's say you are living in, you know, Texas, and you have a $200,000 house, and you want to sell some of that on open market to buy a new truck. You can, because you can tokenize your house and sell it, and somebody would own the house, a percentage of the house, right? So when you decide to flip the house and sell the house, let's say you went from $200,000 to $300,000. If your house went up by $100,000, the person that owns that token, a percentage of your house, would get that appreciation also. So I think it will come to a point that, you know, everything and anything can be traded on an open market on a blockchain 24/7.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting to that place. Like this, the TradFi way of, like, you know, closing the markets and like clearly manipulating the markets and stuff. Like, people are catching on to the bullshit,
Yep.
and you know, it's just not gonna last into the future. So that's going to do it for us here today, guys. Great in-depth episode. We appreciate you all for watching us here in the Tokyo Crypto Show Season 2. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back in the morning because we're launching the Masculine Empowerment Network. Listen, if you guys want to be part of that, James here will be giving a speech on cryptocurrency moving forward. So the time to get on the waiting list is now. Go to the masculineempowermentnetwork.com. We have a bunch of crypto people in there. We're going to be really dialed in with everything this upcoming year, going into 2025, because we do believe that we're going to see some crazy movement in the bull market. Make sure you're part of a community of guys that knows what they're talking about. Scan the QR code in the corner of the screen right now, or go to masculineempowermentnetwork.com. Put your best email address right here. We have 95 new members on the list. It's going to be a great turnout, and we'll be back 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to launch that here on this channel. So until then, we'll catch you guys later.